What's going on, everyone? Adam Swartz here, and this is What's Good in Riverside. And you know what? As before the podcast, I was actually walking over today, drinking the coffee, and I was just thinking about who I have in today, and he's inspired me, I will say, and what he's done in the short amount of time, and the roller coaster that he has gone through. We were just talking about still riding. It's a roller coaster, never ends.
Yeah.
It's very inspirational, and I think that it shines a light on the truth of what it's like to run a business and to be in one career like he was in, and then that career close, and then open up a whole nother career, and just the grind of what it's like. And I kind of wish, maybe you can answer this, Drew, don't you kind of wish you could share more? I wish I could share more of the grind, so then people realize how hard it actually is. But then I don't want people to like judge me for it, right?
Yeah.
That's like, I don't want to like show any weakness, because I don't want someone to doubt like I'm not mentally strong, but it's like that's what everyone's going through, but no one wants to say it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's one of those things too. It's like, I think, and I was thinking of it too, like on the way over here, I was like, all right, if I walked up to a stranger and I said, look, you can open up your business, right? I'll give you everything to open up a business. You'll be able to do whatever you want. You make your own schedule, make your own time, but you're still going to live paycheck to paycheck. Would you do it?
Yeah.
And then people would be like, well, I don't. Because all the businesses, like, we're just talking, like, you're 6 years in. I'm like, 2 years, but like,
a year and a half,
a year
and a third with the pandemic. Just let everyone know. I mean, if you haven't watched, everyone who watched this probably knows Drew, but if you don't watch my last podcast video there, he opened up his own baseball and softball training facility in Paris, California. Badass little spot. Literally did it to the 9.
Yeah.
Dude, when you were going into that, were you planning on doing that nice? Or you're like, yeah, that's how this place was. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to bare minimum. And then it's like, blow it. And then our buddy freaking Pietro comes in and goes, you need to blow that wall out. You need to do this. I'm like, get out, dude. That's dollars. Get out. I get it. Like, you build buildings. Get out of here.
We went in and I looked at the cement shell, and I was like, all right, sweet. We can do, schematics measured out and all the stuff for the lanes or whatever. But then the wife was like, well, we just got to do this. We can't do it like this. We got to up it. We got to do this. We got to do that. And
it never ends.
Yeah. And if I didn't do any of the things that she said and she put into place and put into motion, like, that place wouldn't even be looking as well.
And that's the hard part too, is like, you want to, like, people walk in, it's that first things impression of the building. It's like wow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but like, I still get goosebumps when people walk in here and they go like, wow, this is a really cool place.
Yeah.
Like that, like, kind of like, okay, yeah, this is my spot. Like, that means something to me.
Yeah. Every time I walk in, I've been through this thing. I'm like, I could just tell just by going through everything and looking at everything, like, just the years, and like the work and the nonstop days and the late nights.
Well, it's like, it doesn't help that like my conference lights are out right now. Like, I haven't been able to get an electrician here, so it's like, and like, we try to fix it. Obviously not. Like, this camera's gonna probably die because that wall power's out right now, and it's like, God dang. And then like, you know how it is. It's like dollar bills. You're like, oh God, like, that's gonna be like another 2 or 3 fun. I just hope I don't bring in the wrong guy that finds more problems.
It's. Yeah, one thing leading to another, and it's that chain reaction thing that you don't want to even have.
So going back to what we were saying, like, do you wish you could share more, or do you not?
I wish I could do it, and I wish that we could take, like you said, just take people through that every day of like, I'm gonna go live.
Yeah.
For 24 hours.
Yeah.
Stay with us and just see what it is, that's just play that on repeat 7 days a week.
Yeah, man. I think people always used to ask me. So one of the funniest things people used to always, like, I'd be on the phone with someone, and then like, I'd be like, hold on a second, and they'd be like, what did you just do? I'm like, I took a shower. And they're like, how did you shower in 2 minutes? I'm like, listen, I just take quick showers. This is like earlier in my career, and they're like, why? And I'm like, dude, if I start getting in there and I start thinking, I can't. Like, I'm always having to move. Because like, I cannot find the time. I don't want to stop. That I couldn't find the cord, so if we can find it, great. If not,
or we can do this.
He's like, I'm out of here.
I missed you for 3 days.
That was a long weekend. Yeah. All right, so let's change up. So what are some of the things? Let's see if we can get around this question, right? So, what are some things that you wish that you could more or less
explain to people. I actually have a video coming out, like the top 5 things I wish I would have known before getting into real estate. And like one of the biggest things that's like crazy and like no one believes me is that no one cares about the market, right? Yeah. Like it's funny as real estate agents, we're always talking about like, oh, the market, but no one really cares about it because obviously no one's selling right now and prices are higher than they've ever been, but no one wants to sell because like, where do you go? And we have more buyers than we can deal with, right? Yeah. And then 2, like no one really cares how good you are, right? Like really at the end of the day, if you look at all stats, even the number 1 producing agent in Riverside, Brad Allwine, like he does the highest volume every year. He's been around for 20, 30 years. But like unknown agents, if you look at stats, like do like over 50% of the business in Riverside. So it's like, so we talk about, it's like all about like how good you can get and knowing the market, but no one cares about the market. No one determines their decisions on the market, and no one really determines how good you are. That is like the, and then the other thing is that you really don't make that much money. Like after you freaking pay taxes, which is 33%. I want everyone to know that 33% taxes right off the top. I don't get health care from anyone. So health care. I don't get a 401k. So I have to invest or I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. After I pay my staff, after I pay my office building, it's literally like you might see 12 grand on a commission check. It's literally 3. Yeah. And that 3 is like following up with someone for 4 months and then getting into escrow and then craziness happen and stressful calls. I've had all this stuff and then you're like, dude, you make so much money. It's like, I really don't. Clip that, Adrian, because it's really and like and don't. The thing is too, it's like, dude, and that's the other thing. It is emotionally draining, man. Mm-hmm. You have your issues, right? Yeah. Like I don't know about you, but I woke up in the middle of the night. Oh, the other night, I don't know if you saw my post, like 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. I like lost like 4 deals in like 1 week. I lost like a good amount of money that I was banking on, and I was just like, dude, I gotta go to the office and work. Yeah. I came here and freaking got 1,000 mailers that people don't realize that those mailers cost me $400 to produce that I'm gonna go mail out, and I might not get a call on. Yeah. And then my business coach is like, gotta do it next month. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not getting no calls. Yeah. So I keep doing it, but it's like, gotta keep doing it. So I think that's the hardest thing, man. You gotta show up every day. I don't like every day you have to show up, or you're mentally showed up every day. Yeah. You know,
that's the hardest thing too. I think we're going through all that, and then like even like working with like the the 8 to 12-year-olds, like strength conditioning stuff that I'm doing. It's like I got to be like upbeat and like
you got to be
motivational and like, so it's like you literally as soon as like I get into the office or whatever, and I'm like going through my stuff and with everything that it was doing with me and the wife and the stress.
Let's not even talk about personal life.
Yeah, like
man, that's why I'm single.
Dude, it's like walk in the door and it's like, all right, that's done. Now I gotta go to work, and now it's put on the face. Yeah, be motivational.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like you have to be able to just like boom, click. That click. That's a lot of people don't have that click. You can't have a bad day. No. You can't get bad customer service because that one bad customer service might lead to like losing 4, 5, 6, 7 clients. Yeah. Like you just don't even realize. So you have to be like, all right, time to turn it on. Time to turn it on. Yep. Time to turn it on. You know? I remember when I worked at Michael's Craft Store when I was younger. I remember the owner, the GM or whatever you want to call him, store manager, was like, how is this? And I'm like, this is amazing. And he's like, why? I go, I literally don't even think. Like, I just like putting stuff on things. And then someone's like, where's this? And I'm like, row 17. And it could not even, I didn't even know sometimes. I just guessed. And then like, if they go over to 17, it's not there. Who cares? Like, what does it matter? They'll find it themselves or they'll ask someone else, and not like it affects my pocketbook. So what do I care? You know what I mean? To have that job where you literally don't have to think, oh my God, it must be nice. But then those are the people that make minimum wage, and it's just like that's the benefit. I mean, I will say like it's nice having the freedom. Yeah. But to know that your freedom is never truly free. Yeah. It's like when people go like, oh, probably see like, oh, is it nice to be your own boss? Like, no, it's not. Because everyone, all my bosses are all my clients. And they all don't realize like, I'm working on this project for this client, and then they want something, and then they want something, and they want something. So, yeah, man, I wish I could go deeper for sure, because I think that too many people like fluff it, right? And it's just like, dude, I feel like friends and family should know how, like, to understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're in a bad mood, and people are like, why are you in a bad mood? It's like, dude, it's like, I really, like, I have, like, a million things on my mind right now.
Yeah.
And I gotta pay rent next month, and I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. You're like, I got a week up.
Yeah.
And I got, $3,000 to make up, and it's been a rough month. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, just, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
or I remember when
when
I first started this place, I remember being like, okay, well, I can pay my rent late on my apartment 4 days late.
Yeah.
Without getting a late charge. And I know I can pay my office building 3 days late.
Yeah.
Not get a charge. So how do I get...
Yeah. Let's just say, if you haven't prioritized what you could be late on without damaging, like...
Yeah, your credit. Your late... Or which late fee's worse.
Yeah. Yes. Like, if you don't prioritize and have a quadrant of like, okay, well, 10 days is only going to be on the car payment. That's not going to be that, whatever. And you start doing that out. Yeah,
you've been there.
That's the lie.
You've been there when you're like, okay, that's only a $37 charge for being late.
Yeah,
and I can be late 30 days. Okay, I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah, that one's number one to be late.
You're like, okay, that credit card has 10% interest. The other one has 15. We're gonna pay the 15 off first, but then I'm gonna borrow against it. No, for sure, man.
This is, and the funny thing is, like you said, if we start talking about it, then people are like, are you? Like, how are you?
Like, you're not successful?
Yeah.
You're like, no, everyone deals with this.
Yeah.
Trust me. And I think that's the thing, too, is, like, people, like, going into, like, taxes and stuff. Like, people are like, oh, yeah, corporations don't pay enough. Like, what people don't realize is, like, I'm a corporation, you're a corporation. Like, so when you raise corporate taxes and you're thinking you're hitting, like, the Amazons and stuff, you're not. Yeah. You're really hitting the small businesses. Yeah. It's just like minimum wage. Amazon can afford $15 minimum wage. Like, I cannot.
Yeah.
So I have a choice. Let someone go.
Yeah.
Or take a loss. Like, that's the thing that people don't understand too, is like, if all of a sudden I get hit with a 8% tax more for the next year, I don't all of a sudden bring in 8% more revenue.
No, absolutely not.
I take a loss, and or I just can't now hire a new person because I'm like, well, I'm getting hit. Like, this person is now double what I'm used to paying. Like, now I can't afford to pay someone else.
Yeah.
Those are the decisions you have to make. It's like, who do I pay? Who do I not pay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be the thing.
Well, luckily for you, I just got to figure out how to pay myself. Yeah, exactly. You're like right pocket, left pocket.
I think, well, like with all the stuff that we're talking about coming into the end of the year for EA, I think that's what we're going to have to be working towards. I mean, we got a couple more podcasts to go to get to what we're talking about, but that's going to be one of the things that we're going to have to be getting into too, is like, you don't realize, I mean, you just do like, 15 times if I'm paying them full time, like, okay, 40 hours a week, and you're like, wow, that's actually a lot of money, you know?
Well, that, and then payroll taxes, and then you have $35 to write them a check. Then you have to have a payroll company. Then you need HR, because if you fire someone for no reason, they sue you. Like,
yep. Oh, you got all the wrongful terminations.
You got wrongful termination. You're in a lawsuit, or this, that, and that, and the government wants their tax dollars and stuff. I just think it's just like so much. That's the reason why 95% of businesses fail, because it's not just like, your facility is awesome. Mm-hmm. It's a great facility, but you have to be more than a great facility.
Yeah.
You have to be a great facility, and you have to be a great fitness coach.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out, okay, now you have to be a networker. How do I bring clients in? How do I bring in coaches? How do I bring this people in? Then you got to balance the books.
Yeah.
Then you got to like make decisions. So it's like one of those things where it's like, then people wonder why it's like, it's so hard, because you're wearing all the hats.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out what's most important. And then luckily, hopefully you get enough business where you can like hire some people. But every time you hire someone, it's a cost.
Yeah.
And that then if all of a sudden the business slows down, it's like, you can't, like, you have to let that person go.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing too, is like, because the wife does all the books.
Yeah.
She handles all the financial stuff, because like, once I see numbers, and I get cross-eyed.
You checked out.
Yeah, it's just not me.
Me too.
And so when she's doing that, she's running it, and she's bringing up all the points. I'm like, you have your time to yourself. Like, is this even feasible?
Yeah.
Like,
or is it even worth it?
Like, yeah. Or you can't tell me that I haven't thought about, like, all right, well, what if I just go back into the telecommunications, business, start from a tech and try to work my way up again, and do this and another. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's like, you can play it safe. You can you can have a nice job.
Yeah.
And I was at almost $90K a year, with AT&T.
Yeah.
And then, but still almost like that paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. It was just like go into your own business.
I think people realize it's always, it's never enough money. As dumb as that sounds,
it's not.
And as much as someone might think I'm a jerk for saying this, you say if I only made 30 grand more a year, I'd be set. No, you'll spend it.
Yep.
And the thing that people don't realize is that 30 is really 20, right? With taxes. And so it's like, so you're like, oh, if I only made 30 grand more. I've had agents, if I could only do 5 deals more. No, you'll spend it. No, I won't. Yes, you will. We all do.
Yeah,
we all do, man. Like, seriously, we all spend the money. Like, because you are working so much, you're like, man, like, I want something to like show that I'm working hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when I'm like down, is when I feel like I'm working a lot and I have nothing. Like, I feel like all I'm working for is paying bills.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I need a cool new toy.
Yeah.
Even if it's a skateboard or something stupid, just something like, hey, let me get a new toy so I can just like have something to do to show, be like, hey, this is why I'm working hard.
Yeah. It's always feel good. Even like you said, like it could just be the minute little thing, but you're like, okay, I got money. I could spend $50 on.
Yeah.
I can buy me some shoes.
Well, the thing is too, that's hard that people don't realize too, when it comes to like balancing the books, we're talking about money, but it's just like, for me, like if Adrian comes to me or I have an idea, I just kind of go like, all right, let's do it. Because it's like, if I think it's the right play, then I need to do it anyways. So it's like, I'm not like, oh, well, like perfect example, like we're trying this whole new tech thing with whiteboards and we're trying to like slow play it, see if it works out well. But if it works out well, like I'm going to go buy a $5,000 touchscreen whiteboard. Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, okay, like, I really think this is a cool new thing I should be doing that will separate my content than anyone else. But then it's like, that's still $5,000 that I have to then go do and go buy. And then I have to use that product.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think there's a lot. It's a crazy amount of stuff that goes into it. Like even, I think you put up a picture of almost like a content scheduler. Yeah. Right? Of like what you have to do on
every week,
on the daily, and then through the week and stuff like that. I challenge anyone, dude. Just go. I mean, take a picture. I'll tell you. I'll give you, $100 if you take a picture of your dog every day for 7 days for a month. And there'll be days where like, oh, yeah, I didn't, and it's just keeping up on all that.
Keeping up with content, man. I mean, that's something that's like we've always talked about, but it's like you start getting. Even I get to the point where it's like, well, okay, what else can I post?
Yeah,
like literally, like the reason I think I love the podcast is because it's like new content that I'm not having to create. Yeah, to be like, I have made so many buying, selling videos. Yeah, what else can I make? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's tough, and it's like for you, it's like, how many times can I take a photo of the cages? Right? Yeah. How many times can I take a photo of a bat? Yeah. And all the, So you also have product. How's that working out with Wilson? I know, like, that was like kind of the reason the whole thing started. Yeah. Hey, Adrian, can you give me a coffee? Thanks, buddy. He's just looking at his face. He's probably like, what am I doing with my life? That's what he's thinking right now. Yes, Adrian, I just said that. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Water, coffee?
Nah, I got this.
Give me the espresso stuff.
This is the new plug sponsor for this one.
You're struggling today, aren't you? You're tired, aren't you?
Very tired.
Okay. I'll tell you what, man. Adrian, you're going to watch this later, or someone. Adrian will watch it later. I'm so blessed to have that kid. He's so blessed, man.
Everything you do, man. That guy's
just so blessed to have, just having, and that's the other thing. It's crazy thing right now, we're getting off topic, but like, now that the world's opening back up, like people can't even find people to work. And then it's like, can you even find good people to work? Dude, you know how hard it is to find good people to work? Yeah. That show up on time, that actually kind of just care a little bit. I'm not even asking to care a lot, just a little. Yeah. So how's the Wilson thing working out? Sorry, I know. How's the Wilson gear working out? How's that thing? What are they doing for you, and how's that kind of?
So being the official, like one of the official retailers for Wilson, it's been actually this year's been, not Doug and Wilson or anything like that, because it's been I think with every other company from overseas and stuff like that. The ports have just been
no product,
nothing. Yeah. So the sad thing is if like a team or organization came to us right now and was like, dude, we want to order 80 bats, 80 helmets, 80 medicos, They don't even have it.
I heard a podcast the other day with someone like called in. They're like, "Yo, I've been waiting on this product for like 6 months. Like, what the heck?" And he's like, he goes, "I have the product at the warehouse." And he's like, "Well, why haven't I got it?" He's like, "Can't get cardboard."
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I guess the story is that Amazon went out and bought up all the cardboard boxes or cardboard to build boxes. Like, some companies can't even get cardboard to ship the product out. Isn't that crazy?
I'm waiting on 6 buckets of balls that are up in like I don't even know where it is.
Drive out and get them.
Yeah, basically at this point, but like from like Washington or something like that, they're just sitting at the port,
just hanging,
just sitting there.
Yeah,
it's been 6 weeks now.
So you guys burning through a lot of 2020 gear then? The stuff you already had?
Basically, yeah. Right now, like the only thing that we're kind of like trying to do is just get the more apparel stuff and like the hats and like those things like that. I mean, what we have in stock or what we can get in stock or that Wilson has, we're getting in and trying to get it out. But obviously, it's hard to get used to the less foot traffic coming through the door now. So less people looking at it, stuff like that. And anyone that's looking online is like, I mean, it's just like you putting up a good deal on like a $400,000 house, and someone's like, dude, why aren't you selling it for $2 million?
Yeah.
Like, give me $200,000.
Well, that's the other thing too, is everyone wants a deal, and it's like, dude, there's just not. It's not there sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. Like you said, like just saying, I said, and we've spoken about this before. Like, you don't make that much money off bats.
No.
Like, you do not make that much money off bats.
No.
Everyone thinks because it's a lot of money, but it's like you don't make that much money off bats.
No. Taxes.
You ain't
you
getting
pay
rich.
taxes, you pay the shipping. You do
ain't
all
getting
that.
ship off. You're not getting rich off bats.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. And that was if. Your top 5 things that you wish you would have got rid of. Top 5, I would have went. I would have been like, well, I'm not ordering. Me and my wife wouldn't have ordered a bunch of bats the first time around.
Yeah. And
then being like, dude, I gotta sell this $400 piece of equipment to get like $30.
Yeah.
$40. I'm like, it's a wild thing.
Yeah. To think, and then you're like. And then the hard part is like for you is like 2021 comes around, like, all right, here's all new products. It might be almost the same bat, but they change the color scheme, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's more bats. Sell them.
Yeah. So we just got, I don't know. And all that stuff's going to start up in like August, September area.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to go through that again. That's going to be fun.
So what was the reasoning on like, were you planning on doing apparel with EA Athletics, or is this just kind of like, was it kind of like a need you saw that people were wanting the gear? Or
yeah, I think.
What was the reasoning behind that?
Like with our own like apparel line?
Yeah, own apparel line.
It was, more or less like whenever someone would come in, I mean, everyone just kind of kept asking, and we'd have hats and with like the old fitted stuff and things like that I used to do. Just like random apparel.
Yeah.
I always, you got your local and loyal people that would buy it. So we just went into that, and then obviously spreading that out more, and then giving people what we're trying to focus in on now is like more like that fitness side, right? So like, what can I wear to the gym, but I can also wear just outside the gym.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to look like I just busted myself up at the gym and still go to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. Still wear the same shirt, but more or less like trying to just come up with like a one and all kind of streetwear. You can go work out in it. You could be out for the weekend. You could be doing your daily activities or whatever and still look good.
That's crazy. I finally, obviously some people who follow me know that I went on a gym run in the last few months, and a little bit, just swollen, just a little bit, and like it is funny, dude. Like I was like, man, I need to I was like, I need to get all new gym clothes, but it's like, what's funny is like, I don't even want to wear Nike anymore.
No.
Like I don't even. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, nice piping hot.
Dang, dude, big dog. Hang in there. You'll make it, buddy. But that's the thing is like now that you have like so many options, dude. Like I was just trying to find gym shorts, and like back in the day it was like Nike or Adidas. That was it. Now it's like everyone has their off brands where it's like, and I think they're better and they're cheaper.
100%.
Like I was like, you want me to pay $55 for Nikes? And they're not even great. They're just like basketball shorts. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No. And then you come home and you almost feel like bad about buying it. You're like, well, no. Like, I'm not doing that.
That's
I'm not
the
doing
thing,
that
too, is
again.
like, someone asked me the other day, like, dude, every time you're in the gym, you wear your company logo. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because if I'm going to wear someone's gear, why would I not rock my own? Why would I rock another company? I'm a walking billboard. You know what I mean? It's the reason I spent the time on buying a logo and shirts and like
everything. Yeah.
I'll throw my logo on anything now.
Tell me how mad I was when I forgot I didn't put my own shirt.
I know. I'm actually disappointed in you right now.
In the laundry this morning.
Yeah, dude. I'm a little disappointed. I was actually shocked right now.
I was going through and I was like, yeah, I'm about to go do a podcast, not with my shirt on.
Yeah, right?
But got my hat.
Yeah.
Not even wearing it forward.
Not even on camera.
So
it is, but it's funny how your mindset changes. Do you feel like it's also now that when you're working at AT&T and now where you're at now, like now when you're a consumer, do you change who you go to? Like, are you looking more like, oh, do I know someone that does that service, or can I get it through someone else? Has that changed for you or no?
I think 1,000% of that did. Like once you get into that small business thing, and there might be people that are obviously mindful of it and like we'll shop local anyway, but I think you understand it at a whole new level when you're back on when you're just on your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's the biggest thing is like you start looking more. I think your eye is out more. You just pay attention to what people are doing.
Yeah.
Because like that's what you're hoping people are doing for you.
Yeah.
And I think like we were going back to the whole thing, like why I think a lot of people don't understand us, because if you worked at a job, but perfect example, like my dad worked at Stater Brothers his whole life, and I like crazy to think like, could you imagine like if all of a sudden you were a cashier and no one came through your line, you didn't get paid.
Yeah.
If you told someone that, they'd be like, well, I ain't working there.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you got to attract people to your own
lane.
Yeah.
And then if like we knew each other and then I went to some stranger's lane, you'd be like, yo, you don't want to go through my lane?
Yeah, I'd be throwing something at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Adam, you're on number 4,
I'd be getting blocked on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they don't understand that because they don't work that way. And so their mind doesn't see things that way.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
And I think that's why it's like it comes off as such like a hard topic to talk about too, because then there's going to be the people out there like, well, you guys don't have to run your own business. Yeah. You're absolutely right. 100%.
But someone runs, whoever you work for started their business.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows that. You wouldn't have a job unless you work in the government, which you wouldn't even work in the government because our tax dollars pay for the government. Yeah. So like that's the thing that people don't get. You need people to run their own businesses. That's what gets the world going. Because you have to realize when someone walks in and owns their own business, we provide money to a lot of people, right? So like Wilson's getting paid. The person who has to drop off your stuff's getting paid. The coaches that you're supplying this gear to gets to coach more kids, who's getting paid. Yeah. Like the moment you realize when you bring someone into owning a business, they are getting everyone around them getting paid. I think I figured out like if I quit real estate tomorrow, like I take away like $500,000 out of the economy that people get paid throughout the year from me.
Really?
$500,000.
That's crazy.
So if I die tomorrow, everyone who I work with in this industry loses money.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Right?
But like just to throw that on paper, you're like,
I'm worth $500,000.
Yeah. My man,
right? So then it's just like that's what people don't get, and then the stress of being like, dude, like I'm barely making it. Why am I doing this? Why this? Why is that? And then too, let me ask you this question. I hate when people ask me when they go, "Oh, do you love what you do?" Do people ask you that? Because people ask that to me all the time.
I get more of the like, oh, do you got it? Like you got it made.
Oh, like you get that line?
Yeah, you got it made. You get to go. You can hit balls off a tee whenever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
That's an amazing thing, right?
Yeah.
Let me send 10 G's a month just to go hit balls off a tee.
Totally worth it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Worth
so I could come in here at 1:30 in the morning naked, hitting balls off a tee if I really wanted to. This is my spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's more like, and it, like I said, it's such like a weird thing to talk about, right? Because I mean, obviously, we had chose to do this, right?
Listen,
and so,
I hope everyone gets it. Like we're both very blessed, and I'm very excited what I get to do every day, and I do love what I do. I wouldn't do it. You have to love what you do, or you wouldn't be here. But to state that it's roses every single day, it's not.
No,
it's really not.
And I think that's why I think that's what brings us back to that square one of like, this is a difficult conversation.
Yeah.
Like, although we laugh and we're joking about it, because like, I mean, this is a difficult conversation to have because you're going to have two people on that are watching it that are
Luckily,
like,
no one watches this, so it's perfect.
what's that?
Luckily, no one watches
Oh,
it.
I'm gonna pay for all kinds of ads, dude. We're gonna put this on everything. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just.
Well, I mean, I think that's something that I've been very fortunate with. That I think a lot of people in my space don't do well because they're so worried about upsetting someone based on what they say. Like, I remember I once said on a panel, I'll lose more deals than you'll do a year.
Yeah.
And someone's like, what? That sounds like such a jerk thing to say. I'm like, no, the reason I'm saying this because you guys are sitting out here listening to us talk and thinking we're living the dream.
Yeah.
But it's like, I take more losses than you do.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, you're getting up to bat 5 times a year. And yeah, you might do all those 5, say you go on 5 listing appointments and they're all people you know. Yeah, you'll get all 5 of those. I go on 40 a year.
Yeah.
And if I get 20 of them, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I also have to lose out on 20 of those and get those texts. Or worse, they don't even get a text that they're going with someone else. You just see the house come on the market and you're like, oh, I guess I didn't get picked. Guess it wasn't me.
Didn't get picked.
Didn't get picked. You know what I mean? It's like going on a date and then like the girl ghosting you, and then next thing you know, you see like on Facebook, like in a relationship. I'm like, guess I wasn't the one that got picked.
That was it.
That was it. I lost.
Exactly.
I lost. So that's the thing too, is it's like, that's the thing, is like people see and they're like, oh, you guys are living the dream. Oh, you get to do whatever you want, or oh, this. But it's like, I think that's the thing, that it's like, dude, I want to share as much as possible. Like, I knew a girl that started her own cleaning company, and she called me and she's like, hey, can you I follow you on Instagram. Can I talk to you for a second? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So she calls me, whatever. And she's like, I really wish more people would not post like flowers and roses about owning their own business. Like, this crap is really hard. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why? Let me guess. You're like dealing with like LLC, payroll. It should be an S corp. She's like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is like so much work. And I'm like, yeah. And let me guess, how much money are you making? She's like, I'm not making any money. I'm taking losses right now. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you got to show up tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
And do it.
And keep doing it. But the biggest thing is, I remember when I was in the minor leagues, my goal was to get to the big leagues because like they had that salary, right? And they had pension. And I was like, sweet, if I just get there, I'll be set for life, right? There's a ceiling, but there's no floor. Now I'm in a world where there's definitely a floor, but like no ceiling.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's the craziness of being like, okay, like where can this job take me? You know?
I think that's where
The journey of it.
Right. And then going through all of it. And I think it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just because we're creatures of nature, right? We're going through all this stuff, all the struggles. And then I guarantee every day you're probably thinking of like, okay, how can I make it bigger?
Oh, bigger and better.
Like,
I know, it's so what's wrong with us, dude?
Like,
you have to be deranged to do this. It's like the other day I was riding up a mountain at 7:30 in the morning with my buddy Cody. I'm like, and I look at him and we're like huffing and puffing. I'm like, what is wrong with us? I got out of a warm bed to come ride up a mountain and then go down a mountain over rocks with snakes. What am I doing here? I'm an idiot. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it again. Like, you know what I mean? Let's
see you tomorrow.
Let's see you tomorrow. Let's go faster.
That's all it is.
That's the thing too, is like, that's the problem, is that you're never stopping. Like, how can I make it better? How can I make it better? How can I make it better? And then you do stuff, and then you're like, yo, it didn't really pan out. You know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, it didn't. And then you're like, sweet, that's a loss right there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I mean, I don't have children. I have nephews and nieces. But you have
My
one
daughter, yeah.
You have one daughter. You plan on having more now?
On the days when she's acting cool, it's definitely a conversation.
Yeah, but like last night, no.
But like, you know, like when she
up all night crying,
when she's feeling herself, we're like, we're all right with one.
Yeah, you're all right with one.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like it's allowing you to have so much life experience that when she grows up, you'll have so much knowledge to give her?
I think right now, like, with everything that kind of has been going on, obviously the EA is obviously for hers and Allen, you know, so having that as a little bit of a drive too is to make it not just a batting cage. Yeah. And you said we want people to come in and want this VIP feeling, you know, and to take that into more and more, and then hopefully when she's old enough to, you know, when she's out of high school or going into college or whatever, she's gonna be like, dude, mom and dad did 12 of these things. Yeah. You know, we're in, you know,
multiple states.
20 states. Yeah. We're in, you know, doing this, that, and the other. And we're, you know, so that's the picture, right? So that's why everything seems so like minimal and doesn't hold any value right now of what the everyday hours are, but as like your future stuff is to be like, I'm killing it. I'm in 20 states. I got 16.
Do you think that motivates you more?
Yeah,
because of her. That's a question I have for my mentor all the time. I was like, I wonder if I would be more motivated if I had kids, because you're like working for. But then the question is, would I take less risk because I have a family? Because like now, I just take any risk.
You got to risk it all.
I don't care if I have to. I'll sleep in my van. I can sleep in my office. It's bigger than my. It's three times as big as my apartment.
I was gonna say I'll rent a room here.
Yeah, exactly. It's bigger than my apartment. This thing's amazing. It'd be better than my apartment, right? So, and my dogs love it here because they can run around. But like, I wonder, I take more risk because I don't have family. But then would I be more motivated if I did? That's a question I always debate.
See, I don't know.
I always debate with myself.
With ours, like with my situation, right?
You took risk.
Yeah, like we went.
You went all in.
All in.
Yeah.
Like the day that I got notified I was being laid off was the day that we got a call from the hospital saying that we could pick up Emmy from NICU.
Isn't that crazy?
And it was like, I've never been so confused on a day ever of like whether it was a bad day or a good day. And then applied everywhere. And then the Wilson thing came along and the wife was like, look I'll budget out everything. We can open up our gym. We can do whatever. And it was like, all right, drain the 401k. There's 12 years down.
Yeah.
Drain all the pensions. There's 7 years management, 5 years tech down. We're at 0.
Yeah.
All right, here's your severance check from AT&T. All right, cool. 48% of your salary. And I was like, oh, we're going to be sweet. Federal, state, comes out. And I was like, what is this that they sent me? Mm-hmm. It's like nothing. So
I got $900 when I got released from baseball.
Did you?
$900. Yeah.
Yeah.
$100 a year. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Your insurance is up at the end of the month, so if you need to go to the doctors, go now.
Yeah. All right. If you hop on Cobra, that's $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then we just, like I said, then we want to just keep doing it every day, and it's what can we do? I think it's just, I think we're all just working towards that ultimate, like I said, if I'm running, 20, if we got 20 facilities around the states. Now I'm like, I just turned that into I'm a businessman now. Like I'm traveling, I'm checking on people, I'm doing this, that, and the other, rather than just like that daily.
Well, I think people also, I laugh because I've had so many people come up to me over the years and be like, how do you handle the pressure to like be your own boss and pay all the bills and whatever? But it's like, look at you, AT&T called you and was like, yo, you're fired.
Yeah.
Like you have no control. You can't say you can't fight back. Nope. You can't do nothing. And you're like, all right, sweet, I'm out. Like for here, it's like, I mean, I've been broke, zeros in the accounts 3 or 4 times since I started real estate. But it's like, okay, how can I like fight? Like I can fight. That's the thing. I can fight whatever happens here. If I were like when I got fired from baseball, it was like that phone rang. And there was nothing I could do to stop that call. No. Not pick it up. Yeah. It would have just still fired me. Like it wouldn't have mattered. I would have got a text like, yo, like you're done. There's a $900 check coming. Like, that's, I think, the one thing that I do love is like, I have full control. Yeah. If I want to work more, I can work more. If I want to take a week off, I can take a week off if I really want to. If I really have to get away, I can. It's not great.
It's a scary thing.
It's very scary. I have anxiety not posting on Instagram for a week. But like, that's the only difference. Like, I do have control.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where if you work for someone, you don't.
Yep.
And if people don't realize that's what happened when the pandemic shut down, like I was still finding ways to work. Yeah. Right. You were still finding ways to make it, and everyone else just like, boom, all right, you're fired. Yeah. And now what people don't realize, like, dude, after a company fires someone and then realize they can get by without as many people, they don't hire as much back.
That's the one thing. They're like, or like the people, all the people that went into remote working, right? Yeah. And all the people from home. Now these businesses are like, well, wait, I don't have to pay for a building.
Building
is
the most expensive thing.
And I'm just as productive, if not more efficient than. I just have these people work at home.
Yeah. And then what's crazy is like the landlord that owns that building is losing money, right? That person has no control. The janitor that used to work in that building loses their control. Probably the people who supply all the stuff to that office building lose money now. Yep. It's this chain reaction that people just don't process. No. Unless you're the person who's the janitor or the person that supplies, and you're like I remember right when COVID hit. And I remember being at an open house, and I remember when the NBA shut down, and I'm like, ooh, this is bad. And someone's like, why? I'm like, think about it. The NBA, that means everyone who supplies everything to those games. everyone who makes money off those games.
Yeah.
Geek Seat or whatever, they're not going to have anyone working because why? There's no concerts, no games. Like, it's this chain reaction of like craziness that people do not realize it affects really bad when one thing hicks it up.
No, not at all. And I think that's just, like you said, you have to be in that and feel the effects of it to be like, because you would have never known. Like, just bringing that up, I didn't even think, like, talking about the building, but I didn't think about the janitor stuff and like people that maintain it. And that's me being in it, So, I mean, I think you got to feel it. And like when we shut down for the first 3.5 months. Yeah. Like just cold turkey. We had no idea what was going on. And then they opened up gyms for like a week and a half.
And then shut it back down.
And they're like, oh, gyms are the.
Yeah.
And so we had to look at, me and Corey looked at each other and we were like.
And that's such a bad feeling when this is like your livelihood and you have like, you can't do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I remember just being so like depressed, and it's crazy. No one really talks about like divorce numbers. Well, divorce numbers are for sure going to go up, but like suicide rates went up, and I was like, I'm mentally strong. I'm very mentally strong, and even I was like
struggling.
Yeah, because I couldn't go do my job. I couldn't be valuable. I couldn't go out and do what I do. To bring whatever I bring to myself. Like at the end of the day, I don't care what anyone says. Like I still get the same feeling I get going into some stranger's house or someone's house and walking out with a listing appointment, like a listing agreement. Like that feeling is still an amazing feeling. The text to say that my buyer's offer got accepted is still an amazing feeling. Like that feeling has never changed my whole career. And when you can't do what you want to do and all you can do is sit around and not fight and not know what you can do. Yeah. And there's no answers and you don't know when it's going to end. It's scary, dude.
That was the wildest
thing. A lot. Yeah, like seriously, I'd polish off a bottle because when you have nothing to do the next day, who cares if you're hungover? Who cares if you sleep until 11? Like, you got nothing to do tomorrow.
It was bad, dude.
It was bad, dude. I would polish off a bottle every night.
It got really, really bad.
And the time started sooner and sooner, right? Like it was like, well, I got nothing to do, so 3:30, sure. We would still come here. I shoot like 2-3 things of content and be like, all right, what do we do now? Yeah. Play video games. Yeah. I beat all the Super Nintendos. I beat all the Marios on all the systems.
See, I think that's what saved me with my daughter because obviously, obviously not drinking because
for sure.
You gotta.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta handle a human.
My dogs don't care.
Yeah, your dogs.
My dogs, they just like, they look at me like, seriously, bro? Just take us out every few hours. We don't care. Do whatever you want.
I think this is like the nice real like, I mean, we didn't come in here with any questions or anything.
Oh, no. Like, that's always hate when people want to come in here like, what are we going to talk? Like people that don't know me, like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, just freestyle. And they're like, that's a podcast. It's not an interview. Yeah. Like I had someone bash me on my YouTube channel when I did the Adam Kennedy. He was like, those are terrible questions. Next time you do a podcast or next time you blah, 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 like, let me know. I'll write the questions for you. And that's what people don't get. It's not questions. Because I don't want to have questions because it's like, I don't know what I'm going to say. No. I just go off script. And that's like the conversation that we want to have because I don't want to interview someone. No. Because what's the point? Yeah. Like, honestly, like it's more like natural. And then people wonder why like interviews don't do anything in Podcast Crush. You know what I mean? It's because it's natural. It's just like random thoughts that come in my head. Yeah. You know?
And the fact that like it takes away like, oh, was it scripted? Was he supposed to say that? Was that like a plug?
Yeah, I don't know if I should tell people I used to drink at 4:00.
Was that like a plug for
Smart Water? Am I supposed to spot my? I work hard so my dog will have a better life. That's true. Crash, you're welcome. Yeah. Crash Abigail, you're welcome. I do all this for my dogs.
See,
that's the thing. Do you feel like I did a podcast this week. Someone asked me, but like, what do you think success? One, do you feel like you're successful, and then two, do you have a level where like, okay, if I get there, I believe I'm successful.
Like what level do you think I'd
like? Do you think you're successful right now? If not, what is where you think you will be?
I think we were really successful before everything, and it's hard to judge yourself off of like a success right now. Like we're like our doors are open. Yeah. So I'm taking that as a success.
Win.
Yeah, like as a big
which I think
W.
everyone should do. Like if you're still in business right now, it's a W.
Yeah, if you guys are still up and you guys are still grinding it out, I don't care, $1 a day, negative $1 a day, whatever it is, that's just stay cooking on it because it has to go back. We got to get back to it. And
Yeah, I mean, luckily for you, your product was shown to do well.
Yeah.
So you have to believe it's going to do well again.
Yeah. You know.
Just time is going to finally catch up to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, tournaments starting. Are they doing tournaments again?
Oh yeah.
As I was, but in California.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're back. They're running local stuff and all that stuff. It's just all the teams and everything that was with us are now fighting over fields.
Oh,
So
they want on field time.
Yeah, they don't want to hit indoor right now, and especially with the sun staying out later.
Yeah.
So, and that was one thing I never even
Thought
knew.
about.
Yeah, I was like, I always liked when it got dark earlier anyway, but like I didn't even put it together. I was like, man, we're getting really busy with it, and they're like, well, yeah, the lights aren't on. And I was like, we got to pay extra for lights. Oh, sweet. Oh wait, that means now when the sun's
Summer
out,
coming, yeah.
no, you know,
And then we live in California, so it's not like you have tons of rain.
no,
Because my first job ever was at a batting cage,
yeah.
indoor batting cage.
See,
And like, dude, when it was raining, oh my god, dude, it was just like I was the ball monkey guy in the back. And then people were like, "Make it faster," and I'd like turn the machine right, and then like it's too slow, and then speed up, and I remember just being like, "Oh god, it's raining today." Like just knowing it's raining, and I'd walk in at 2:00 from 2 to 10.
Never
and it
thought
would
I'd
just
love
be,
rain.
and it would never stop, like all day.
Yeah.
I'm like,
never thought I'd love rain so much.
yeah. Are you guys ever thought about doing? Because I remember working at that. We made a lot of our money off jerseys, right? Like we had a printing press, and we would make jerseys. You ever thought about going that route with teams?
We were.
Yeah.
So we had actually, I mean, all the stuff that was in motion before is like obviously taking the backseat, but like I mean the expense of the printers and like the cut sews and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean we were definitely trying to like be all in one. I mean Wilson has all the stuff, but like I said, I mean after pay everyone out and taxes and all that, it's like
It's not even worth the time.
No.
Yeah, we suppress. Like that's how the shop became. It was like a shop, and then the cages, and then like my boss finally realized like, dude, the shop makes us like no money. Like, gloves, bats, like we're not making nothing in here, right? So he's like, screw it. He got rid of all product.
Yeah.
And he just turned it into a shirt like press. But back then, that was what 2005. Back then, I felt like
we graduated.
I know, man. We're old.
That's
It feels like back then, like
I don't know if you
Little
wanted it.
League and all that stuff was like so hardcore. Like I mean, we would have so many teams in there. Like All-Star. When All-Stars came around, so many sweaters, so many jackets, so much. It was unbelievable.
no. Yeah, it's now
totally
it's
different
like
now.
it's just all travel ball.
Yeah,
You know, and like the little leagues, like they don't even survive because once they get one of the good kids in little league,
they leave.
then the travel ball people come over and they pick them up.
Yeah.
So it's like, but just hoping for the return of the teams and then getting the people in there. We've had a lot of new people, like just ones off, but just not returners.
Yeah.
But
Do you feel like almost like the fitness side during the summer is something that you're gonna be offering that no one else really has that will kind of help
I think
you
so.
out?
I think we're gonna really push like the summer clinics and stuff like that. Like the one clinic that we did in December when everyone was taking the off time.
Yeah.
And we had like
So many
50 something kids in there, you know, just killing it. So I would imagine this summer, especially with how the colleges and everything's working, like I mean, you got D2, D1 players that are having to go to JUCOs to go play for a year because the rosters are so backed up, you know, from getting drafted.
Because there's only five round draft, which I'm interested to see if that's gonna be the new thing now that they got rid of 42 minor league baseball teams. So they got rid of 42 teams this year.
Seeing that's that.
It's that trickle down effect.
The trickle, you don't even
think about all those. I mean, when I was in the minor leagues, there were some cities that literally the ballpark was the only thing. The ballpark was what ran the city. And to think that there's cities that ballpark's gone now, the city's done.
Yeah.
The little town's done. Like, all the revenue that comes from that thing is gone.
Yeah. It's crazy to just, when we talk about it and it really, like, breaks it down like this, like, I think this is that conversation that we were talking about having, dude, is, like, really, like, getting people to open their eyes. And I really hope, like, some people really keen in and, like, watch this stuff and, like, really pay attention to it and it like drives home with someone, because if we just touch, you know, 1-2 people or whatever, 2 turns into 4 and they're like, hey dude.
Well, I think too, what I want people to get from this podcast is, one, like if you want to do a thing, you know what? I always tell people, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to your crappy job that you had before. You can always go back. 2, I hope that the factor of being like scared of expressing failure or fear. Hopefully on this podcast, listen, not to toot my own horn, but I'm a top 5 real estate agent in Riverside. I do plenty of deals, and I still have these issues.
Yeah.
So it's like, who do you think that you shouldn't if you're just starting your own business?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have this issue.
Yeah.
And like, people think I'm super successful. Like, that's the one thing I hate about my content is some people think like, one, I'm super busy, which I hate that because I'm like, I'm never too busy for anyone.
Yeah.
And then 2, it's like, oh, you're so successful, or oh, you don't have time for me, or oh, this. It's like, dude, it's not that way. They're probably like you. Like, people are like, oh, he's just living the dream. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, it's not. And this is reality. And then I think the last thing too is just like, is that like, if you can support, I always look at it, if you're going to pay something, like perfect example today. My van's getting worked on.
Yeah.
And we have a client who runs his own shop. And normally it's mobile, but I don't live in a house, so I don't have a driveway. So I just went and dropped my van off to him. I have no idea what he's going to charge me to do my brakes today. I have no idea. Didn't ask.
Just charge it.
Didn't even think twice about it. And you know why? Because he trusted us to buy him a house. So I'm going to trust him with my car. And he's the only guy I go to in my car. And he'll probably be the only guy I ever go to for my car. And it's like, he's just some small business guy. And we had him on the podcast, and we've done media for him. And it's like, he's just some guy chasing a dream. And if I can help him just a little bit, I'm going to. Even I could probably get it cheaper at a big box store.
Yep.
But it's like, you know what? That guy trusted me to handle his business. I'm going to trust him. And I think that's the thing that people need to realize, is that it's like, you're just helping. That means more to him than it means to someone else.
Yeah.
Right? And and I trust him. Like, I didn't even question him. He's like, hey, the van needs this. Isn't it cool? Do it, man. Because it's like, I know that he has to worry about me. It's like, Amazon don't care about me.
No.
Right? If I say F you, Amazon, okay, it doesn't affect the bottom line. But if he screws me over, that affects his bottom line way more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like and we could just probably just go
on for days
just
and days
and days about it. But yeah.
So are you still playing softball? You still sponsored?
Here, no. I didn't sign back with Louisville.
No.
No.
Were you trying to sign with Wilson, maybe?
No. It was it's Slugger.
As you're wearing their shirt, but that's okay.
Actually, I am wearing a Slugger shirt.
Yeah.
I'm doing great today.
Yeah. On point.
Yeah, on point.
Up all night. Yeah. There you go.
No, I didn't sign with Slugger. So Slugger Slow Pitch sold all their. Actually, Slugger Slow Pitch got bought out by a company out in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Called like Link Diamond Sports, something like that. So if you even go to slugger.com now,
it forwards you to there.
It's just baseball.
Oh.
Or baseball fast pitch. You got to go to sluggerslowpitch.com to get slow pitch stuff. So once it went over to Canadians and too much into it. But yeah, just the contract wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been with them for 5 years, and I'm just going to go kind of mess around and do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I never realized how much time I wasted at a softball field until this stuff. I was like, why would I sit there for so long? I mean, you start playing at 9, you don't get done till like 11 at night. Mm-hmm. It's slow pitch.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day, like everything hurts because we're getting old now.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I sit there for so long? And so now, like, going to play tournaments, I'm like, I'll just go there, play, and then come back, and then chill. And
I think you definitely like qualify time more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you have to balance so much. Like there's people that don't like me. I'm the guy that shows up late and leaves early. Like, it's just what I do. Like, especially birthday parties. Like, I don't have any kids, right?
Yeah.
I come in, drop my gift off, say my lows, and then I bounce, because normally I'm coming from something or I'm going to something.
Yeah.
Or it's just maybe a day where I have nothing to do and I just want to sit on the couch.
Just chill.
And just chill out.
Hang out
and do nothing. And you have to take those times so much, because you never know when it might change.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because
you could you think it's an off day, and then all of a sudden
someone calls you, hey, I really, can I get the team in today? It's the last second thing. And you're like, go down, open the shop and make money, or say no.
Yeah.
And then maybe lose that person forever.
Yep.
And you're like, I got to go open the shop.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, one last thing I want to leave this off. We're at an hour already. Dang.
Are we?
Yeah. How does it feel? Obviously there's a lot of husband and wives out there that thought about, working, starting companies, or work together. How has it been? Do you feel like it's been better for you two working together, or because she's in the day in, day out of struggle and it's like a team effort?
Yeah.
Or do you sometimes wish there was like a separation where like you kind of wish like or if you guys got to do a good job, like shop, personal life is totally separate?
I think she's done like an amazing job of like, and she always says too, she's like, oh, like I'm always behind the scenes stuff. So I'm like, oh yeah, well come on camera. She's like, and you talk to her, you're like, she's like, no. So literally the business runs every day because of the stuff that she allocates and she does, and I get to go there and I get to teach kids how to run and work on running deficiencies and stuff like that. And I go to the shop, she's at home with the baby. I mean, the way that it blends, like our personal life is like EA, and if that makes sense, like we don't really have like everything gets so blended in. We have so many different conversations. We're working on so many resolutions and problems like throughout the day. It's like personal now is EA, and it just kind of goes in this thing, and we've just been going at it. But like, I mean, we struggle with just the stress levels that we're on everyone, and then having to take care of the kid that doesn't. They expect you to be happy 100% of the time. And, it was wild stuff, dude. But, I mean, we got through it, and we're working and on to the, bigger, better things, and the more podcasts to come on.
Yeah.
On what we're doing. But
oh, you going to do a podcast? Are you going to start your own podcast?
No.
Oh, you should totally start your own podcast.
No, absolutely not.
You should start your own podcast.
1,000% no.
100%.
No, our podcast.
Oh.
Our I want to say docuseries, but like our stuff leading up to what we were talking about this last week.
Yeah. I think the crazy thing too is like it's good, I think, for you two, for what I see is like you guys do two separate things, right? Like she handles the books, you let her handle the books. She lets you be the person on camera, you be the man on camera. It's like me and my assistant Brittany. Like I don't mess with her game, she don't mess with mine.
Yeah.
You do you, I do me, and we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
But even there's sometimes where, and yes, Brittany, I do get mad at you sometimes, where I'm just like, ugh, oh, dang it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, ugh. And then, but at least I don't have to live with her, so it's all right.
And the feeling's probably mutual. She probably looks at you sometimes.
Oh, for
like,
sure. Like even today, she's like,
she's
like, you didn't sign the contract. And I'm like, okay. She's like, you're the one we're waiting on. I'm like, I'm an idiot. So obviously,
I'll get right on it.
I get right on it. So it's like, but it's crazy how it's like it's such a team effort.
Yeah.
How's the family been? The family been helping you guys out a lot?
Chilling, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's been stuck up in Washington for the past like 4 months on a job, but yeah, just it's the family support and everything. I guess it's just like it's wild stuff, dude. You don't realize, dude. You need things until it just comes down to it, and you can overlook, and you just take things. And it sounds it's like such a cliche thing to say, but like taking things for granted.
Oh, for sure.
And you get down to it, you're like, that helped.
Yeah,
that helped.
And what's crazy too is like it's almost like a scar, right? It's like it's like after you get through something, you're like, oh, well, we made it through that. I mean, really, when you think about it, there's really nothing else that can be like, well, we made it through a pandemic, so nothing can close us down. We made it through a pandemic.
To ask that.
Yeah.
Like,
what could be next, right?
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, I'm just not even going to think about it and thinking that this is going to be the worst we'll have to see.
I mean, I think that's something I've never gone through a housing crash, so that's like something I'm like interested in. Like, I don't know if there's going to be one anytime soon, but like when that does come or whatever, or flattening out or a decline, like I am wondering like how am I going to survive?
Yeah, I think it's just the planning now.
Like I think it's just like I'm like it crosses my whenever like things are going good. Like right when COVID hit, I thought it was gonna be a massive housing crisis. Who would think it was the total opposite?
Right.
But like I remember like, and that was probably the worst thing. Is like I can't work, and then it's like, what if we go into a crazy housing crisis? It's like, am I gonna be able to survive the housing crisis?
Yeah. Because
it's like that's what I think is crazy. It's like you can survive the downs, so when you go back up, you just steal up more market share.
Yeah. And I think that's the experience too. Like, okay, well, last time we had a dip in this.
Yeah.
We did this and it helped.
Well, exactly.
Generate
like
whatever.
Now,
it's like,
if all of a sudden, I don't think there's gonna be another shutdown, but if all of a sudden there's another shutdown, it's like, okay, well, we did this, and this to get through it.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be another shutdown.
I would hope not.
No, I don't think so.
I got to be
because-
really good at my content then, because I haven't posted anything, dude.
You're ridiculous. I feel bad for people that are friends with me because I'm like, post more content, and then they see me, and then like even I'm like over here, like you saw my print sheet of how much I want to post, and I'm like, man, I only did 80% of that this week. I'm like, oh man, I really fell off. I really fell off this time. So
our social media thing, we were just, and it kind of sounds bad to say, and we'll kind of end on this because we got a bunch of stuff, but like we were kind of really, really shy to post on social media too, right? Because things weren't supposed to be open.
I was taking heat too.
So
I was like, heat. Yes.
So I was like, do we not? And we just relied just on word of mouth stuff.
Yeah.
And we went
I took
social
D too.
media dark, dude.
I took D. I was getting hit in the DMs like, oh, you're not wearing a mask, you're not social distancing, da da da. And that's the hard thing. Like, I mean, like, I think that's like why I think the other thing, going back to social media on this, actually, it's good. But like, I gotta go grab my drone right now, anyways. But like, the difference between social media that people don't get, that's such a struggle. Like you said, post a picture of your dog every day. When you have to post and it has to be educational content to drive business to you, and you have to think about that every day, you're not taking a picture of your food.
No.
Like, it takes thought, and then you're always like second guessing yourself, like, oh, should the caption been different?
Yeah.
Should this have been different? Should have said in the video? Should we done the video? Yes. All right, guys.
All right.
We gotta go. Until next time. Peace.